Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live watch party. We're live on Sunday night. Um, I was talking about doing Sunday afternoon, but that ended up not being a thing. um, but I was do want to try to get to doing maybe Sunday instead of Monday night. Um, the wife is usually home Monday night, and is out like Sunday afternoon, so it's a good time for me. Um, so I'm looking to try and do it Sunday. So thank you for coming on in. Um, Damn, it's been a while. Makes sense why or how though. Yeah. Thank you, Sebastian. It has been a while, but loyal viewer, thank you. Coming on in. We're just thinking about it. Um Cobra Kai has like ended. Other shows are out there. There's a lot going on. Um so like something like Squid Game came out. I finished it. I'm gonna try to get a video this week. Unfortunately, like the way this so what happened is I finished it last week, right? Okay, good. Then as you recall here in the United States, oh look, we had a holiday Friday. So I ended up, of course we're doing something because now we're a couple parents are coming in and everything. So anyway, I spent the end of last week and most of this weekend now with like family and stuff. And we'll try to get back into it next week, but got like a dentist appointment in another state. um, a lot of crazy shit, but we'll try and get some videos out, um, get back into it. Got got stuff to say. Watch party, learn party, everything. So we got to be a little bit more thorough. The live streams chat needs more people. Yeah, a few more guys. We got some people in there. Come on in, join the chat. The more the merrier. Say what you're thinking. I found here. I just pulled this up. Let me show you guys. Here, this one. We were talking about this last time, but I didn't have like an article pulled up. But here we go. Yeah, May 30th. May 30th? No. There are a few balls. Surely one of them win. Yeah. Yeah, this is about Ralph Macchio talking about the thing, but according to this, actually interesting, Macchio is the one who got them to push the film back. Finish Cobra Kai, then have the movie, which makes sense. Like chicken. Hey, I like chicken too. I had chicken yesterday. T Flex Champ is here. Thank you for coming on in, T Flex Champ. I know you missed a couple of streams. I've been less consistent, but good to see you here. Do we have here it is, July 1st. Okay. From less than a week ago. This is why, whatever I missed. Only pulling in 100 million because 100 million ain't that much. Ralph Macchio has revealed new spinoff in the works. confirms spinoff plans. Here's the season 3 poster. Making an appearance at Newport Beach TV Fest panel, launching from the Cobra Kai spinoff, is now being put through the writers' think tank. I know guys are working on some conceptual ideas. The Miyagi-verse is infinite. Wow. Infinite. T-Flex champ, you're here now? Cool. Cobra Kai never dies. Assuming Machio plans to return as Daniel Reluso, which I don't necessarily know if that's the case. Set sometime around Legends, yeah. There might be hope for Fong yet. Spinoff series could allow for better character development. Yeah, okay, so here's what's going on. Yeah. Ralph really didn't say anything new or something we didn't already know. I mean, he said the writers are tossing around ideas. Well, they've been tossing around ideas for like 4 years, so that's not really new. Let's see. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Watch party. Hey, what's up? What it do? Hope you're doing well. Also, let's get this rap stream going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Let's get it going. Going. Watch Party came here to analyze, and it's never been any lies. But now he's branching out. Let's all figure it out. Get on the floor, hit it some more. Rapping's the game. Do it hardcore. Bow, wow. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Oh, yes. Yes. Is Kreese okay? Yes, he is. I think you mean Martin Cove, but Martin Cove is fine and back out. He posted some 4th of July stuff. He was visiting military or something or other. Looked great. How would Quan do under Wolf? LOL. I feel Wolf would low-key respect him because he's just as cruel as Wolf is. I think Quan under Wolf, like the problem with Quan, he's a bit of a loose cannon. If Wolf could tame him the way Kreese did, it could be he could be really, really good. Maybe better than Wolf himself. Yeah, he didn't really say anything. He just said, "Oh yeah, they're throwing around ideas." But that's not new. We already knew that. I mean, they themselves told us, "Oh, we're throwing around ideas." So that's kind of like them. At least Legends was made in a way that if there are spin-offs, they can give it the Rocky 5 treatment and act like it never happened. Correct. Yeah. You could almost pretend it's its own universe, they're not going to fight in the 5 boroughs, the 5 boroughs. Oh man. The 5 boroughs. Oh, what's his name? The Chad or whatever boy. Oh, he's been the champion of the 5 boroughs. Don't you know the 5 boroughs? Like freaking 16 people from 5 of the city boroughs. So about 3 people per borough fight for $50,000. Feed wolf to the wolves. Oof. DJ Club rules. Bringing it hard. Bringing it hard, man. Feed wolf to the wolves. Karate Kid Legends is no longer playing. Yeah, I believe that. Came out like what, the week after I got married, and oof, yeah. But honestly, these days, unless a movie is a super hit, yeah, they're probably out of the theater in 4 weeks, 6 weeks tops. You know, and Superman's coming out. When, like tomorrow or something? This week? I don't know when the hell's it? I don't even know. Like I was like, I know it's coming, but art movies in theaters for 2 months. Well, there's no set time limit. You know, it's like how the movie's doing, right? If you know, if you know, people are showing up for it, yeah, they'll keep playing it. But like, you know, Karate Kid Legends, you know, it had a pop and then it kind of like faded off, right? So that's that, you know. So it's just done. You know, so in basically the individual theaters, they decide what to show, and basically they'll be like, okay, you know, we'll play something else instead. Okay, what happened to Crease and Cam in real life? Well, there's a lot of craziness in the world. There's a lot of craziness everywhere, you know, and usually you don't know about it. Sometimes because of the internet and social media, you do, and that's that. Welcome to the craziness. You can't even really explain it because it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Like, but what are you gonna do? Like, shit. Okay, sorry. With my mic here. Aside from the Miyagi prequel, the spinoff with the best potential is the Sensei Wolf Iron Dragon because it is something relatively new and fresh. Well, I agree with you on that, Jay Quito. Like you could definitely take the franchise in a very different direction if you follow Sensei Wolf. Although honestly, I think a Miyagi prequel also is taking the franchise and in a very different direction. So, you know, like so both of them are like completely new, but I think that's probably what they want. You know, they're going to want to do something a little bit different, you know, like how do you do something a little bit different, you know, because ultimately like Cobra Kai was the reimagination of you know, the Karate Kid. Obviously story beats, themes, everything top to bottom. You know, they did that. I don't necessarily think they want to do that again, especially after Karate Kid Legends just popped off again. So it's like, what's something different we can do, you know, keeping the theme or feel of the series still there, but you know, but also doing something like in a new way, and like a Miyagi prequel could be like that. As per like canon Miyagi, you know, hasn't met or hasn't trained anyone. So we can't get like the sensei role. I mean, there's Jack Pierce, but like that's just convoluted. Um, but is it just like him in like post World War II, 1950s America? Like interesting, but like what's the hook? It's like the hook is Miyagi. Well, okay, but like what is he doing that's interesting to us? Um, Working at a boxing gym, something or other. Um, Fighting in the Sekai Taikai. You know, I don't know. You can't erase what you put on the internet. Well, that's true. You also can't erase what other people put on the internet, even if you didn't want to get on there. Um, which is a thing in itself. Korean Cobra Kai spinoff. Fun. I don't think they would do that. Like we already got the Korean Cobra Kai. So like we don't need a spinoff of them. So besides, Quan was the cool character. Like, so it's like, we lost Quan. You never anything is possible as far as Cobra Kai is concerned. It's possible. Well, true. By the way, Superman released July 11th. So what is that? That is, just Friday. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't go for a 4th of July weekend. What came out this past week? Like what was the 4th of Jurassic World. Yeah. 91 million. Sorry, just checking the box office at Jurassic World, which people said was really bad, but I don't watch them, so I don't know. Just found Sadie Stanley was in Cobra Kai Legends. I didn't notice her in the trailer without her red hair. Is she just the love? Is she just the love internet for Lee, or does she have her own story? The girl, she had her own story somewhat. And in fact, in my opinion, one of the failings of the movie is they should have really focused a little bit more on her instead of her father. They focus on her father, which was like a mistake in my opinion. Had they focused on her, yes, Sadie Stanley. Actually, there was way more potential. That was one of the flaws in the movie, or missed opportunities. I'll say. She was the lead in Kim Possible. I've heard of that. I don't know anything about it. Didn't do much 4th of July. See, my parents were over, sister, family, in-laws. We had everyone here, a friend of my mother-in-law. I grilled burgers. We had we had so many snacks. Like we had such an awesome way to put it together. A charcuterie board with actually a board that was a wedding gift to us. Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, charcuterie board. I grilled these hamburgers. I had like you understand, we had like homemade mayonnaise, homemade ice cream for dessert. Everything was so good, top notch. But that's why I can't get the video out because I'm entertaining family for the holiday. Oh man, but our place is the place to be, man. All that stuff is so good. Personal opinion, but Korean Cobra Kai should have had a top female student who was on the same level as Zara, Tori, and Sam. Well, they did have a top female student. We just never really saw her. There was one other girl, second to Tori. I have no idea of what they do on Instagram. Maybe they blocked each other. I don't. I could care less about the Instagram. That's good for all you. Happy for you. You just relax. Good, good. You need to relax, man. I know you're training, getting back into competitions, looking sharp, build that muscle. Didn't show up to kick the food. No, not this time. He didn't know where I was. Every year, my neighborhood has big fireworks show. All I have to do is go outside. It's a lot of fun. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. We went to the local fireworks show. We could walk there. But it was kind of short. That was the one downside. It was only like 15 minutes. Could have gone for a longer fireworks show. Still mad we got no Mike Barnes in part 3. No mention or closure on Silver. I mean, they're dead. How much closure do you need? I need closure. I mean, they blew up. And completely ignored in the final episode. Bad writing. I just think like they were out at sea, word hadn't gotten around yet. Hear about the biting. Oh my God. You look at stuff, yeah. I tried going and asked a girl where the fireworks were. She assumed I was asking her out and said, I have a boyfriend. LOL. What? You missed it. Okay. So you're not actually asking her out, according to you here. So she says, I have a boyfriend. He's like, okay, is he at the fireworks? Where are the fireworks? Like, how is it like you're unable to figure out where the fireworks are? I'll tell you, the fireworks are up in the sky, dude. Man, you just look up, see them. And that's that. I think you have a message of I missed. How would the big three pull from 40s World War II era style in Miyagi prequel? I feel it would need a massive budget. No, you just do it on a small scale, kind of like Cobra Kai. You're in house. All you have to do is, build some sets that you need, and the wardrobe department, the costumes. They have the most work to do, wardrobe and like hair and makeup. But I mean, you can do that, like. I think it's doable. Stayed home for the 4th. It's crazy. Stranger Things 3 came out 6 years ago. Yeah. And I remember everyone was all gaga over it. I hadn't seen Stranger Things yet. I didn't watch Stranger Things until the next year, 2020, because I was still just totally all in on Cobra Kai. Stayed home and watched Independence Day. Can't argue with that. Where was I? Let's see. Stranger Things. Yeah. Stranger Things. Yeah. There's only been one season in 6 years, which came out like 3 years ago. But the new one's the end of this year. If there's a Robbie Tori spinoff, can you imagine in one episode Tori visits Sam in Okinawa? They have a sparring match where Sam teaches her a technique like how Chosen did in season 3. What would Sam teach her? What does Sam know that Tori doesn't? Also, considering Tori has even been training at Miyagi-Do as well. So, what does Sam know? I don't necessarily think it would be a technique, but otherwise, the concept of what you're saying is pretty good. You know, like Tori goes and sees. Tori goes and sees Sam. Like, yeah, for something. How they ignore Kwan's death. I think like you aren't thinking it through. Like, so one of the things actually is like when they get there, Kwan is like or like no, Kreese at the beginning of part 3 is just totally like a different person. If you listened to the podcast, something I said through the podcast was like, geez, like it was almost like he was a completely different, like it was a little sudden for me. Like I felt like we needed a little bit more. It's like, part 2 ends, Quan dies, and then suddenly we pick up in part 3 at Quan's funeral, and Kreese is just a completely different person. So that's what I see. Like Kreese is like someone just completely different, right? Like, let me see here. Like in this scene here, I don't know what happened to us. Maybe she bit his face or something, which is why he's so bruised there. But like he's just a completely, so to say anyway, the Void, back to you, like that they're ignoring Kwan's death. All his actions here, Kreese, like everything he does is like very much like all a result. And then in the next episode, he goes and sees Tori, or what is it, 2 episodes from now, and then Johnny and everything, and puts everything back. Yeah. You watch that movie every year, Independence Day. It's a good movie. The Netflix era Cobra Kai, despite its pluses, will always be inferior to the YouTube era. Ouch! I disagree. The YouTube era ended. The Netflix era gave us the end of it. The only good thing about part 3 was Kreese redemption and Johnny winning. I liked Miguel and Tori winning. I liked episode 12. They get married, the baby's born. I really like this. Tori winning was great. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think part 3 ended as good as you like. Ha 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 ha. I don't like how his death didn't affect any of the kids. They didn't know him. You could say it affected Tori a little bit, but she was a little annoyed with him. But I mean, most of the kids didn't know him. You could say it affected the other fighter. I forget his name. But the other people in the Cobra Kai. Spike should have aimed for the feet. Yeah. They say this was like Sholo's last scene that he filmed. Um, they'll come in. There you go. Bobby and Daniel. So that's that. Where are we at? Quan was trying to kill Axel. That's a fair point. You know, like if you're going to talk about it, you got to bring up the fair point. Quan was trying to kill Axel. Really seemed to rock Kreese's entire world. Yes, that's what I was saying. So much so, it almost felt like a little bit too much of a switch. Like I'm willing to accept, like he's suddenly rethinking things, but like it was just kind of like a full on switch. You know, he gives up. He's tired. Doesn't want to fight anymore. And then suddenly, like Yoon, that's who it is. Yoon. It affected Yoon. You know, and suddenly he's like, you know, trying to make good with Tori, with Johnny, anyone he can. Natural selection at play, more or less. Well, in a fashion. But yeah, I personally didn't care for Miguel winning the Sagai Takai. Ouch. I know some Robbie fans wanted him to win. I get it. I understand. Like Robbie fans, you know, they just he can't catch a break, you know. But that's the way it goes. Intro 8 from Dragon Ball. I haven't seen Dragon Ball, so I can't say if Axel is the equivalent to that. Glad Yoon sent or Kreese sent Yoon away from Master Kim. He did. But I think he's back in the last episode with a different haircut. So you don't recognize him. But he's there. Yeah. Robbie's gonna be a millionaire. Miguel spending 4 years at college. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it. It seems like Miguel and Sam should have taken the money too. Like Robbie should buy Terry Silver's mansion. Well, I don't know if he's that rich. He's not that rich yet. Maybe he can get there. Maybe. You know, but definitely Robbie. You know that we didn't get the what is it the Enos the original mansion is kind of sad, but it probably just like it means they would have had to film in Los Angeles, and that would be like more money, and they just didn't have the money, so they couldn't really do it, and they were already going with like the boat explosion anyway, so. Do you think in a potential spinoff of Axel, do you think he'd most likely kind of either Miguel Robbie or Yoon have a completely different new rival? I think there would be a new rival. But he could definitely encounter all three of those at one point or another. Terry Silver enjoys vegetables and poached salmon. Poached salmon is what what's his name liked? The prosecutor, the district attorney. I don't know if Silver likes poached salmon. Silver was more sympathetic than Kreese prior to part 3. Ooh. Interesting. Maybe. Do you think Wolf is our next villain for the future Miyagi-verse with these spinoffs? No, I don't think Wolf is going to stay a villain. Not outright. Not unless they do like what they essentially did, and people talked about this, like with Cobra Kai, where it's like, Johnny could never get over his loss, and then it switches to like Sensei Wolf, who can never get over his loss to Johnny. Oh, how would you rank the seasons? Good question. Because I'm thinking like 1 and 6 at the top. I really like some of the 4. The first half of 4 is like really, really good. The second half isn't as good. It ends pretty well. 5 is really good. 5 is like really good. It has like the problem with 5 is it has like a couple of like just slow episodes. I made videos about them. Like episodes 3 and 4, Downward Spiral, and episode 3, where he finds out she's pregnant and everything. It's not as good. Bad Eggs episode 7 and 8 are just like a little slow. Bad Eggs for sure. But episode season 5 ends really, really strong. So a lot of good stuff. So it's tough. Robbie gets a rematch with Axel in his spinoff. I think Patrick Lewis has potential to be an amazing actor. I see him killing it in a Dunkirk-like role. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely all in favor of, whatever comes his way. I think, yeah, I agree. I think he's really proved himself, and as a martial artist and as an actor. So yeah, definitely. I wish him the best. I want to see him in more. General obvious. It'd be cool if Miguel and Robbie got their own spinoffs. In the Miguel spinoff, he faces against a super powerful psycho opponent, while Robbie in his spinoff faces against an arrogant one. Could it just be one spinoff? Maybe not. Literally 2 whole shows, 2 shows going at the same time. Probably not likely. And you can't have one villain, one bad guy the whole show as Cobra Kai showed you. Don't want any redemption for Sensei Wolf. Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't have to be redemption. Maybe we just see more about him. He's won a lot of stuff out there in Hong Kong and Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia. Iron Dragon spinoff would take place after the events of the Sakata. Yes, for sure. each of them would be far above Axel. The Psycho would be like, well, I mean, the problem is like Axel already was like the Psycho far above everyone else. Like they were at the world tournament and their teammates deliberately got themselves out just because they were so awesome. Like, and there was no challenge, right? Like it's just hard to keep introducing like a greater and greater fighter. You need to do something else. What are your thoughts on Daniel character from Cobra? Whoa, it's a big question. Um, he had ultimately had a really good arc. He hit a great spot with Johnny, teaching Miyagi Do as he knows, and then he works with Johnny and they work together. Um, good family business. I don't know, should make a video about this. Sometimes I see people say like, "There's not one good father on television these days," and I say, "Well, Daniel LaRusso is a pretty good father. I mean, he's not great. Anthony's out there, and Sam was kind of doing her own thing. Okay, he wasn't great, but he was an attentive father. He ran a business, taught his kids to defend themselves. I mean, I think it's about as good as you could ask for." Sensei Wolf recruit Connor from Karate Kid Legends. Yeah, that was his name, Connor Day. Wherever they get that, but I don't know if Connor's good enough to be recruited by Sensei Wolf. I mean, he lost the 5 boroughs. I mean, a guy who loses the 5 boroughs is going to be recruited the best dojo in the world. Best to worst, 3-1-5-4-2-6. Whew. Harsh. People do like season 3. It's true. If you're going to rank the seasons, 6 would have to be middle of the road. No matter how good part 3 was, part 1 was the worst drop off of the series. I think part 1 just started slow. First 2 episodes, but it got going. It could be one spinoff, yeah. I figure Robbie and Miguel are now in different geographical locations. Well, they don't have to stay that way. Sam's worst season was 4. Would you agree? Or maybe 2. She kind of bad moments towards the end of season 3 too, but 5 was a little improvement. 6 being her best. It depends on what you mean by worst and best. Like, just like the most enjoyable to watch, like her development as a character, or what? Um, Sam was good in 4, but the problem is she only got half a season because like the other half of Sam's season, like bonding with Johnny, was taken over by Devin. like like Johnny bonds with 2 different girls in season 4, but like so it kind of gets redundant. Um um 6 was her best. I agree with that. Um 6 and 5. I mean, she's at her least likable in seasons 1 and 2. I would love to see how Sensei Wolf became so cruel, even a prequel series, for sure. Axel really wasn't psycho. Well, say that to Sam when he's staring at her across from the room all the time. She may say, "That's a little psycho. Like, what's with him?" Master Lee from the 2010 remake was Wolf Sensei. Uh could have been. Wolf was from Hong Kong, but it's not impossible. So overrated and low budget. Well, I don't know about low budget, but with these hypothetical villains apart is that they'd have a much more interesting and badass characterization than Axel. Um, maybe. Do hope the actors don't get pushed too heavily. Avoid a Zendaya effect where you get tired. Jesus Christ. Yeah, except here's the problem with the Zendaya effect that you're talking about is it hasn't stopped. Um, yes, people are tired of Zendaya. I personally don't like Zendaya. And go out of my way not to see stuff she's in. The only thing I saw was Spider-Man No Way Home because Tobey Maguire was in it and Andrew Garfield. Um don't get me started on Zendaya. Like it's just Christopher Nolan announced he's doing a movie. He's going to make a epic movie on the Odyssey, right? Classic Greek drama. Um, there's been actually a recent uptick in interest in the Greek stuff, specifically because of the Odyssey. This is from Epic the Musical. It was a thing going on TikTok and it's on Spotify. This guy wrote this musical of the Odyssey. Really popular actually. My wife loves it a lot, and so like there's this huge interest. Maybe you weren't aware, but it's like going on in Greek stuff specific generally and Odyssey specifically. And so it's almost not a surprise like Christopher Nolan is like, hey, I'll make a movie on the Odyssey. Um then our greatest living director who says he wants to make a movie on the Odyssey says first thing he does is cast Zendaya. I I'm at a fucking loss. Like I'm just at a loss. Who sits there, looks through the story of the Odyssey, not to mention a great filmmaker, and it's like the first thing you're like, oh man, we gotta get Zendaya for this. Like I'm becoming like there's just things that go on in Hollywood that like I know it happens. I understand it intellectually. But like but I understand it the way I understand like that a beaver builds a dam. Like I'm not like that. And I don't know. Sorry. You mentioned Zendaya, you're gonna just always get me on a tangent here. Johnny learns to be a good father. Yes. Have a great night. Thank you. Anthony turned into a KK kid. Yeah. Yeah. Once Daniel started parenting, Anthony became better. Thank you for Robin Lynn for coming on in. What are your top female character uh Cobra Kai characters? Um hmm, um Tori's good. I like Moon. I wish we had more Moon. I always enjoyed Moon. Um Tori Moon. I like Amanda and Carmen. I'll just leave it there. Um, um, Actors getting sucked into more questionable circles in Hollywood. The place is dangerous. Well, I don't know. I can't worry about that because I don't control it. Um, Not comparing any of the actors to Zendaya, just saying I think when an actor appears everywhere it gets tiring. Yes, Pedro Pascal as well. The difference between Pedro Pascal and Zendaya is Pascal is a talented actor who contributes immensely. Um, is good looking. Everything. He's at least everything he should be. I kind of like Legends. That's fine. You're not alone, General Obvious. It's hard to tell. We barely got to know Connor. The 4 scenes he was in. Well, yeah. He was a bad guy, okay? But he won the 5 boroughs tournament many years in a row. But then he lost the league. Season 6 is the best season you all need to accept that. Accept that what? Or accept that with an A. Said Connor should join the Lewis Tan said that. Well, Connor get training from Wolf. They both have spicy heritage, whatever that means. Okay. Discount Silver Jr. That's a good way to put him. Discount Terry Silver. Hot take, Karate Kid Legends is way better than Karate Kid 84. That's one. Has it aged? No. Do you think Axel follows a meatitarian diet? I don't even know what that is. Probably. I don't know. He follows a Russian diet, like meat and vodka. Connor gives Silver season 1 Robbie vibes. I thought he was being more of the antagonist towards Tori in season 4. At first tolerable, but after Tori returned to school and when she did prom, made her feel kind of annoying to watch. Yeah, that's true. She has some weird lines in season 4 that make her like, oh my god. In the end, he does end up being a good person, not letting Chelsea get the best of it. He didn't break Miguel's back. True. He also lost. Pity. Problem of part 1 is Johnny and Daniel bickering again. The MIT story. Devin sabotaging Kenny. I agree with the first 2 at least. Tori rejoining Cobra Kai should have introduced 9 Dragons in part 1. Maybe. But you can always second guess. It's hard to make it all work. Some of the best shows and movies have modest low budget. I get the feeling you love only big budget movies with tons of CGI. Oh my god. Seems like she smells bad. I don't know. Smells bad. I think someone else said that once, which is one of the reasons I don't like Zendaya, but let's not get on it. I actually like the idea of the Iron Dragons being introduced and getting part 2 better. Yeah, I think it works the way it is. Too much teen drama in season 3. Whew. Boy, don't anyone tell Robin Lynn about season 2 if she doesn't like teen drama. Oh my god. The teen drama in season 2. Oh my god. Season 3 is the best season, but that's just me. It does have its lovers. Like, there's a lot that's really good in it, but it's the things that I don't like about it that take it down for me. Most confusing movie is Tenet. Don't know if you've seen it. I don't think I have. I actually need to see more of his movies. I need to get back because he's obviously, I know he's like one of our best filmmakers. So, Anthony loves al dente pasta. The writers of the show eat a lot of dude food. I don't know what that is. The thing with season 6, more time should have spent building new rivalries instead of rehashing over. Maybe, but it's hard to make a show, and sometimes you think it would be better, and it's actually not better. The Miguel Axel rivalry was the least. But that's also why, like, Axel didn't break Miguel's back, because in the end, like, he didn't really hate him. He just, in a way, wanted to be him, right? Miguel was with Sam, and that's kind of what Axel wanted. So it wasn't hate. Was there an evil sensei in Karate Kid Legends? Yeah, sort of, but like he had even less screen time than Connor. He was like the guy who was also like a mafia loan shark. Like he's also like a loan shark. He runs a mixed martial arts dojo and is also like a loan shark. Whatever. Robin Kwan, best rivalry this season. A little bit, yeah. Kwan, Terry Silver, and Wolf are the best villains. Fair. Robbie and Kwan had a death match just like Daniel and Chosen. Woof. Would have been good. Kwan did end up having a death match. Burt would destroy Connor in a fight. Yeah. Karate Kid 84 always is the best because of the story and characters. Something raw and real. It's very true. Excited for the Cobra Kai spinoff, but I hope they take their time with it. They will. They got a lot on their plate. It seems like where my hope is something would have been like announced by now. It's not there yet. That's the most we can make of it, obviously. During the brawl, Quan should have been equal with Robbie and only fought him one-on-one. I feel after the training sequence, he should have given him more trouble. Yeah. The Robbie Hawk fight was the best in the show. Definitely one of the best for sure. I always ranked it up there. When we were doing top 10 fights or whatever with Peter on Cobra Kai Companion, like both of us had that up there near the top. Do you think Axel's rivalry with Miguel is basically like Mr. X coming from Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 2? Didn't see Resident Evil 2 or play the game. Superman will be better than a Snyder one. I suspect it will be. Snyder, like he had like good ideas, but man, it just didn't execute. I just didn't execute. It's just like it just like wasn't a blast to see. Like, like you got to get that feeling. I'm worried though. James Gunn is doing what he does, like the group movie, which he does well. But like, there's so many freaking characters. Like, can't you just give me like a Superman movie that I like? I don't know, man. Like, there's like a Green Lantern and a Doomsday and all these DC characters I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to see Superman. I just wanted Superman. And I feel like that's not what it is. Robbie versus Hawk was the best teen tournament fight in the show. Yeah. Kept you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, it was really good. The way it went into overtime and everything. Sad as Odyssey does look like it's going to have an amazing cast. I'm glad Todd Holland is finally working with Christopher Nolan. I'm just imagining Zendaya's role played by Maria's actor, which would probably be better, yeah. Or just anyone else. The season 1 tournament is the best one in the series. That could be. Joliana Ortiz. I do think Peter interviewed her with her husband. But yeah. Cobra Kai movie. I don't think we're going to get a Cobra Kai movie. Just saying random shit. You are forgiven, Ogre Sonic. Or OGR Sonic, whatever, however you pronounce your name. Robbie versus Axel was honestly your favorite fight in part 3. The back and forth in round 2 is so good. Also is intense in the music. Yeah, I think Robbie versus Axel is good. I think Miguel versus Axel is pretty good too. Brought back Diego and Maria. They were fun characters. They were. Oh shit. No matter who the actor is, he'll always be in the shadow of Christopher Reeve. Well, there's some truth to that. Honestly, I've been pretty good, happy with it. I thought, was it Brandon Roth and Superman Returns was good. Like I was like, he's good. People loved Henry Cavill, of course. A whole lot. There's parts of this new movie where you're like questioning Superman. You're like, what's going on? Like he's like yelling and like weird. It's like, come on. Part 2 is a bit of too Goblet of Fire, if you ask me. A lot of people cite Goblet of Fire as one of their favorite Harry Potter books. A lot of action, transitions from chapter to chapter is really one of the strongest parts about Goblet of Fire. Just sort of keeps you going. It's the book when you're trying to fall asleep. You can't. Miguel versus Axel was okay. The first 2 rounds are boring. I don't think it was boring. Come on. Superman Returns is the first Superman movie I saw. Yeah, so here's what I think happened. Since we brought this up. Like I think like Superman Returns made by pre canceled what's his name? Oh my god. Like I keep wanting to say like Bryan Singer. Jesus Christ. Okay. Bryan Singer. Yeah. Bryan Singer is, a very good director. Had success in X-Men. Here's the thing. Like Bryan Singer, like Superman Returns is like a good movie. But like the problem is they had like all this good stuff and they didn't have like a good climax. Like, the ultimate plot of the movie is like, Lex Luthor running a real estate scam. But like, I think the problem was that like when they went into Man of Steel, they tried to fix the problem or perceived problem with Superman Returns that, like there was just not enough action. It's just like there wasn't like a villain, that could challenge Superman. And so of course, so they went with the Zod and stuff in Man of Steel, and then it was just like way too much. It's like the last half hour is just this big fight or something, and I'm just like, what's going on? Like I just like lost it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like, oh boy, Bryan Singer, yeah. The writing was terrible. Any Last of Us fans? So I'll be honest with you, Robin Lynn. I watched the first episode of season 2, and I was like a little bored, and I knew it was probably going to get worse, and I just checked out. Like I just like I don't need to watch anymore. You quit after season 2 episode. I quit after season 2 episode 1. Wish Tori had appeared in episode 11. Don't you think that episode was kind of filler? No. a lot's going on with Kim Sun Young and, the fallout of episode 10. Quan was never that good to begin with. We saw how untouchable Alex was, and now suddenly Miguel can beat him that easily. Miguel's always got the talent. He's just got to get there. Man of Steel is the Mumford and Sons of Superman. Oof. Did you like Thunderbolts? I didn't see it. I should probably see more movies and make videos about them. I don't know. But do I want to just touch on everything or focus more in depth on stuff? I don't know. Robin Kwan should have a rematch? Yeah. What's going on here? Thunderbolts has Florida. Did that come out or is that coming out? I thought that wasn't out yet. Florence Pugh. Oh no, wait. That came out. Didn't it? Was that earlier? Yeah, it must have came out. Oof. Released May 2nd. Oh, I didn't have time. I was getting ready to get married then. I just boy, didn't have time for any of that. Yeah. This is Marvel. And now we got the Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal, which I was not a fan of. Because unlike Zendaya, I actually like Pedro Pascal. I respect him. I think he's good. But I don't. It just felt like let's put him in the movie. He's popular. Oh my god! Why do you have Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four? I don't know, man. I don't know. They don't ask me. And that's what I'm saying. I just the people who do this, it's not just a different opinion, oh, I think he'd be good, or sometimes it's I don't know what they're thinking. They exist in a different universe than I do, which is why I often don't know what's going on. All right, guys, let's go ahead and close it out. Thank you. I may try to do more Sunday streams. Thank you everyone for coming on in, finding the time. Videos will be coming as soon as I get stuff squared away. We'll be done. Is there if there's an Irish draft, do you think Zara should be redeemed? I think she should never be redeemed. There's a place for Zara. There's a place. We'll have to see why she is the way she is. Great. Thank you, Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Thank you, Robin Lynn. Thank you, everyone, for coming on in. I love you all. I appreciate it. Make sure you check videos when they drop because they will come. I didn't see Thunderbolts on Sonic, so thank you. Bye-bye. Love you all.